do we prepare a organizational capability profile? How do we prepare a strategic advantage profile? And that is how we understand and analyze the organization's performance that we have discussed in the last session. Now is the PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this preparation of SAP organization capability profile, that all we have learned. Also we have discussed concept of stress, leverage and fit. And today we'll have to discuss about business portfolio analysis. So how do we do this? What is business portfolio analysis and what are the different techniques in business portfolio analysis that we will have to understand in details. And therefore we'll understand these terms, this every key term in this business portfolio analysis. First of all, we understand what is a business. We all know what is business. So here I have put it into some definitions. Business, what entity we call it as a business is, it is an economic system in which goods and services are exchanged for one another or money or on the basis of their perceived worth. So it is an economic system wherein there is an exchange of goods with another goods or goods with money and on the basis of their perceived worth. So all these kind of businesses require some type of investment and sufficient number of customers to whom its output can be sold at profit on a consistent basis. So for every business, you all are aware that investment is important. Without any investment, no business can start. So in every business will require some or other form of investment. Also, there has to be customers who are ready to purchase the products or services that you are generating, and that also on a consistent basis, means on a regular basis, and then only this business can survive. So this definition we have seen what is a business. Then going ahead, we'll have to understand this in full sense. So first we have discussed about what is a business. Then going ahead, we'll have to understand the second term in this, that is portfolio, what is called as a portfolio. So this portfolio, when we are talking about business, the portfolio means it is a collection of investment all owned by some same individual or organization. So collection of all investments done in different forms and done in different activities, all that investments which are owned by same individual or organization, we can say it is a portfolio of that organization. So we go to another term, that is business portfolio. What is called as business portfolio? So business portfolio is a collection of businesses and products that make up the company. So all those businesses, all the business units, as well as the different product lines the company has, we can say it is a business portfolio of that particular company. And then one more word which remains in this business portfolio analysis, the analysis. What is called as analysis? So this analysis, we can say it is a systematic way. So it is a step by step method or way of resolution or examination of any object or happening. So anything which we are examining or we are resolving, that all we can say, we are analyzing it, we are examining it, or we analyzing it. So it is the meaning of analysis. So going ahead, this business portfolio analysis. Now we have to talk in detail. When we have understood what is business, what is portfolio, what is analysis. So then what is there in this business portfolio analysis and how do we do that? That we'll have to understand. So in business portfolio analysis, as we discussed, we'll have to analyze all the different businesses or the different product lines a company has. And how this help is, this business portfolio analysis helps in designing the business portfolio, and it is a key step in the strategic planning process. So when we are uh, formulating any strategies for a company, we will have to analyze what are the different strategic business units we have, what product lines we have, what are the investments in that portfolio, and then how do we plan for different strategies, how we'll go about all these strategic units, strategic business units, or the different unit, different investments and the different product lines. What do we do with this, all this portfolio we have? That can be analyzed by doing this business portfolio analysis. So with business portfolio analysis, we can understand what are the different strengths and weaknesses of a company into whatever different strategic business units you have, different product lines we have, which product lines are more profit generating, or which strategic business units are performing well, or which strategic business units require support. And that is how do we formulate the strategies considering all this situation, that we can understand through this business portfolio analysis. The best business portfolio is the one that best fits the company's strengths and weaknesses and to the opportunities in the environment. So when we do this business portfolio analysis, the outcome of this business portfolio analysis is that whatever resources or whatever business units or product lines the company has, that should be correctly matched with the opportunities that are there present in the environment, so that we can take the benefit of all those opportunities, as well as we will be able to face some challenges which are there in the environment. So if your business portfolio analysis is doing this, then we can say that this business portfolio analysis is done well, or it is best fitting the company's environment. So this is brief background about this business portfolio analysis. Are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll go ahead. So for business portfolio analysis, what is important is that a company should have analyzed its current business portfolio or strategic business units. For doing this analysis, we'll have to first understand the current business portfolio, what different types of businesses the company owns, how many strategic business units we have, how many product lines we have. That we'll have to first understand. Then decide which SBUs should receive more, less, or no investment. So then by understanding which strategic business units or product lines should receive more investment, which units require less investment or no investment, which strategic units can be closed based on their growth potential and market share. We'll have to understand how these strategic business units are important to the organization, which strategic units, business units are important for the organization, how many units are contributing more, and on the basis of that, how much investment need to be done on each strategic business unit. That we'll have to understand and analyze through this strategic business portfolio analysis. Third important thing is that you develop growth strategies for growth or downsizing. we'll have to first of all understand how much investment is required, whether the strategic business unit require investments, how much, and then for the strategic business units which are growing, we'll have to develop growth strategies for their growth, and few units which are not performing well, we should plan for downsizing or closing, and then evaluate relative strength of all businesses in the company. So all the businesses, product lines which the company has, we'll have to understand the whatever are the strengths of all those units, how much they are contributing, how much they are important to the company. That we'll have to understand. So this is prerequisite for the business portfolio analysis. Then the strategic business unit analysis evaluates the strength of each independent business unit in the company. This we have understood that we will have to evaluate the strength of each independent business unit in the company. And then we will have to apply the growth share matrix key analysis tool. So this new term we are talking about now in this business portfolio analysis, growth share matrix. So here for this business portfolio analysis, this is one of the tool with which we'll be able to evaluate the relative strength or relative importance of each strategic business unit in the company. So that we'll have to understand. Can anybody tell me now what can be called as a market share? Before going ahead, I want to understand what do you mean by market share? Have you heard this term market share?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So market share means some the ownership is distributed to the shareholders according their investments. It will be distributed as equity shares, preference shares, and debentures like that.
Okay. So what we were discussing was strategic business unit analysis. How do we do that? Now this growth share matrix, we'll have to understand what is this growth share matrix and how do we utilize that matrix for understanding the relative strength of each business unit, and then on the basis of that how do we plan the market strategies for each of the business units or product lines, that we'll have to understand. And for that, before going ahead, we'll understand all these basic terms. But before going ahead, we will have to understand there are different techniques for this kind of business portfolio analysis. The business portfolio analysis which we are talking, there are different tools which can be used. First is what we discussed about growth share matrix, which is a Boston Consulting Group or product portfolio analysis can be called. Secondly, industry attractiveness or business position matrix, that is General Electric or McKinsey matrix. Then Hofer's product market environment mix, then PIMS, the profit impact of market strategy. All these different techniques are there. However, the most common used techniques are BCG Matrix, that is Boston Consultant Group, and G9 Cell Matrix. So these are two commonly used techniques, and that is why we will discuss these two techniques in more details. So as I said, before going to these techniques of business portfolio analysis, we will understand these basic terms in detail so that our understanding of all those techniques will be better, And therefore, this first term which I want you to understand is market share. Here you can see through this diagrammatic representation also that market share is a ratio of sales revenue of the firm. So what sales revenue a company is generating to the total sales revenue of all firms in the industry, including the firm itself. So the in the industry, what is the total sales and how much is our share? So how much sales revenue our company is generating as compared to the all the other companies present in the particular industry, that we can say it is a market share. For example, if you see, this is a diagram graph wherein we have shown different pieces of market share of each company. Here you will be able to see ABC company, which has 20% market share from all the total market sales of a particular product in a particular industry. You will be able to see that ABC company is able to get 20% share out of the entire market share. PPR is there, which is able to get 32% of share. XYZ company has 38% share, and KKK company is there, which is having 10% of market share. So this is a market share that we will have to understand. Secondly, we also have to understand what can be called as a relative market share. Then relative market share, in short, what we can say is it is when we compare our market share with some company which is leading in the particular industry, that we can say relative market share. So here one example also we have given, which says about market share, relative market share. How do we understand this relative market share? But by definition, we can say this relative market share means it is a firm's or brand's market share against that of its leading competitor. So first of all, we'll have to identify the leading competitor in the market, and when we compare our market share with the leading company's market share, then we can say it is a relative market share. So we can say that our market share is this is much percent as compared to that of particular leading brand in the market. So here you see the example companies we have listed here: Sony, Samsung, LG, Videocon, and Onida. So here market share in 2012 we have taken. Sony has 27% of the share, which is the leader in the market. And then if we want to calculate the relative market share of LG, for example, so LG is having 16% market share of total market. So relative market share can be calculated as the business units sales this year, means LG sales this year, divided by leading rival sale this year. So leading rival here is Sony, and therefore 16% divided by 27%, that is equal to 0.59% is our share. So LG's relative market share here we have calculated it is 0.59%. So as compared to the leading competitor Sony, LG's market share is 0.59%. Getting this? Clarity on this?
Yes, sir.
Just a second. So another simple term, that is a profit. So when we say that we have earned a profit, so profit is a reward to a business firm for the risk it undertakes in offering a product or sale. So it is also the money left over after a firm's total expenses are subtracted from total sales. So this profit, we all are aware that it is the expenses minus the cost. Expenses um, minus the sales or the revenue. So the cost minus the sales, we can get the profit. So this profit is a reward for firm to take the risk. So as whatever risk we are taking, so it is a reward of taking the risk for offering a product for sale. There may be many different types of risk, and for the risk the company is taking, this profit is being a reward for that taking the risk, and it can be calculated by expenses minus the sales. So whatever cost of manufacturing that product, or whatever all expenses or cost required to make the product available to the customers, minus the revenue, we can get the profit. Then another term which we have to understand is MGR, that is a market growth rate. So when we are talking about market growth, then how do we calculate, or how do we understand whether the market is growing or not? What is how this market growth can be calculated? How it can be measured? So here we can say that it is used as measure of a market's attractiveness, and it is calculated as MGR is equal to individual sales, means a particular company sales in the current year minus the individual sales last year divided by the individual sales last year. So if we do this calculation, company's current year sales minus last year sales divided by last year sales, we can say how much the market has grown for that particular company, how much market share the company is able to earn more than the past year, and it is used as a measure to understand the market's attractiveness. So markets experiencing high growth are ones where the total market share available is expanding, and there is plenty of opportunity for everyone to make the money. So if the market share is growing year after year, it is expanding, then we can say that it is an attractive market for all the companies in the market, and market is growing. So that is MGR, that is market growth rate, and that can be calculated with a simple formula, that is MGR is equal to the company's sales in the current year minus company's last sales divided by company's last year sale. So with that we can understand whether the company's market share is growing or not. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Another important concept which we are aware of is a product life cycle, PLC in short we say. Here we are talking about PLC because this concept will be required further when we are talking about the different techniques of business portfolio analysis, and therefore we understand this term product life cycle, which already we are aware of However, we'll have to understand different stages are there. When we plot this graph of time versus sales, then there can be different stages along the timeline how the sales are growing. There may be different stages. If you see, there are 6 stages we have mentioned in this particular diagram. First step is development, second introduction, then growth, maturity, saturation, and then decline. So in this graph you will be able to see how the sales is increasing along the timeline. What are the different stages of sales revenue along the timeline that you can understand. In development stage, you will see there is a no sales. That is, the revenue is zero because there is expenditure on the product development and the revenues are not generated. Product is not introduced. Therefore, sales is zero. And then from the second stage, that is introduction stage, you will be able to see the sales have started growing as per the timeline. Sales have started growing slowly. Why slowly? Because the initial period we will have to then spend more on the awareness, advertisements, promotional programs, and therefore the sales are growing, but then there is a slow growth as customers will take time to adopt the particular product. And then going ahead, we have growth stage wherein there is a rapid adoption of a particular product by the customers and the sales will grow very drastically. And then there is a maturity stage wherein the sales will start stabilizing, revenue will be stabilized at this point. And then saturation stage is there wherein the cells will stabilize and then slowly it will go towards the declining stage. And in declining stage you can clearly see the cells will start declining, or the cells will be in negative. That will you will be able to see through this product life cycle. So by understanding all this concept, then we will have to go towards our technique of business portfolio analysis. The first technique of business portfolio analysis, which I have mentioned some time back, is about BCG Matrix. So BCG is a short form of Boston Consulting Group who have introduced this matrix with which we can analyze the business portfolio of a particular company. This portfolio matrix, BCG matrix, it is a portfolio planning model which is based on the observation that a company's business units can be classified into 4 categories. So here, this portfolio planning model. So this is one of the model which is being put forth for analysis of a company's portfolio, and through that we will categorize the different business units of a particular company or the product lines into 4 major categories, that is stars, question marks, cash cows, and dogs. So these are 4 names are given to these categories, and by this name also you will be able to understand what the category, what why this categorization, how this categorization is being made, to understand the particular business units uh, parameters, or we can say particular business units status in the company. So can you guess about these 4 categories, why this naming has been might have been given, what these stars will mean, or how what they can demonstrate. स्टार्स का क्या मतलब हो सकता है? some category of products or some category of business units, we call them as a stars in the company. Why?
तर स्क्रीन स्टक आहे ग्रोथ रेट स्लाइड वरती.
Correct. So these stars might be the companies having a high growth potential, isn't it? So therefore the name stars is given. Then is a question mark. Who will say about question marks? Pranav, Suraj, Abhishek. Talk something. I'm asking you just to make you interact. Whatever thoughts you have in mind, you can talk about. Anything, Pallavi?
No, it is slide. We are only talking growth rates. So can you please?
Your voice is very. I'm not able to listen.
Sir, we are stuck in. We are only see the growth rate slide. We are not able to see other slides.
You are not able to see the slides.
No, sir.
That you should tell me.
Yes, sir. I was raising my hand. So
Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
So there was some issue
Yes,
related
sir.
to the connectivity, but then we'll have to continue. Now is the PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
So till growth rate, I think you have understood. And then we talked about the product life cycle, having these 6 stages. And to start with this business portfolio matrix, we'll have to understand that this model is used for planning, and then this portfolio planning model, which is being prepared by BCG Group, that is Business Boston Consultancy Group. They have given this model wherein we can categorize the business or the different strategic units into four important categories. These categories, as we discussed, are stars, question marks, cash cows, and dogs. This categorization, you will see with the name itself, you will be able to understand which category of business units or product lines might be important to an organization. So, with its relative importance, they are being put in the sequence itself with the stars, which is having the most important category of business units or product lines in the company. Then the second important category which comes is question marks. Third is cash cow, and the lowest important kind of a product line or business unit can be categorized as dogs. So in each company in their portfolio, they will have this kind of different products or business lines, and therefore we'll have to understand which are the most important business units or product lines and which are the least important type of business units or product lines. This categorization will be helpful for a strategist to formulate strategies which will talk about the allocation of resources on different business units with their relative importance. So the as per their relative worth, we will have to then allocate the resources to different business units. The most important or the most valuable kind of category of business units should receive the more investment or more attention. Like we have the stars, there may be kind of category of some products or some business units who have high growth potential, high market share, and that is how it requires more attention and more investment. Then subsequently the question marks, cash cows, and dogs. So different categories of product lines or businesses will have to see its relative worth, and then we will have to plan for investments or resources allocation as per their relative importance. So this categorization which we are making, that is stars, question marks, cash cows, and dogs. How we say a particular business unit is a star or is it a cash cow? It is based on the combination of market growth and market share. So here these two terms which we have discussed now, that is market growth and market share, that we'll have to use. So we'll have to see the market growth and market share, and thereby we will categorize the different business units or product lines into these four categories relative to its best competitor, market leader. So we'll consider the market growth and market share relative to the best competitor. We'll have to find out who is the market leader in a particular industry, and then compare to him what is the market growth and market share, and with this we'll be able to categorize a particular business unit or particular product line into these four categories. So all the business units will be categorized into only four categories. And then once we have categorized, we will be able to then understand how we can do with these categories, how we should deal with all these categories of business units. We will be clearly able to understand which category of business units should require more attention, more investment, and which categories of business units or product lines should receive the least attention, least investment, or shall we close a particular product line or business. That all we will be able to understand, and will be able to formulate the organization wide strategy for different strategic business units as well as different product lines. And therefore this business matrix, BCG matrix, which is used for business portfolio analysis, is very important to formulate the strategies for an organization. We will have to then go ahead with the details of this BCG matrix. We'll see the categorization as well as different categories. How do we categorize these different businesses or product lines, and then we'll also have examples of how we do the analysis, this business portfolio analysis with BCG matrix. That all we'll have to see in the next session. But before we close this session, let me ask you people whether you have any queries. Any queries you have about what we have discussed today? Any queries so
No,
far?
sir.
No, sir.
Okay. But before we close the session, let me tell you, we have to give you some assignment. First assignment we have taken, that is home assignment, that is in handwritten assignment that you have submitted, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The second is your presentation, student presentation. So what I will suggest you is you prepare PPT, hmm, and then you have to present. We'll take these presentations tomorrow. Will it be fine? Pallavi, Jayant, will it be okay if we keep these presentations tomorrow
What will
for
be
your internal evaluation, concurrent evaluation? That is the second parameter, that is student presentations. So you will have to take any topic of your choice, prepare a PPT presentation, and you will have to present it during the session. Shall we keep it tomorrow? Pallavi, what do you say?
for
Jayant?
me? Okay, but I think if we get a 1 day more, so it will be better.
Hmm? I was not able to listen.
The day after tomorrow.
Your voice is not clear, Pallavi. So tomorrow it is fine. Jayant, Snehal, Priti, Sagar. Sagar, are you there? Jayant, Pallavi. Follow you was telling something, but I am not able to listen properly.
Sir, for me, it's okay for tomorrow, but
Hmm.
on Saturday,
It is
on
same here.
we can do for day after tomorrow, or we need one day for preparation and PPT.
It is very simple. You take any topic from this first 2 minutes, whatever we have discussed. Any topic you take, any small topic. It is not that you have to prepare a lot. Only a small topic, a single concept.
Okay, sir, I will do it.
So someone may take the levels of strategy. Someone may take topic like strategy, only strategy. What is strategy, and what are different types of strategies. So like that, any small topic you take, prepare 2 3 slides presentation, and then your presentation will not be more than 5 7 minutes. Okay, only 5 to 7 minutes presentation. So that should be okay for tomorrow because you have the material of unit number one, which I have shared you already on the group, isn't it? So from that also, if you take a very small concept and present it for 5 minutes, that is also sufficient. Is it okay for you all? You raise the hands. How many are fine for tomorrow? How many people are okay for presentations tomorrow? Sagar, Jayant,
So 2 days
Jayant, are you there? Jayant, are you there, Jayant? Saurabh, Saurabh, Datta is okay.
Yes,
Datta,
sir. Yes, sir.
okay. उद्या
हो सर.
जास्त काय बनायचं नाही 2 ते 3 स्लाइड बनायचे फक्त वॉट एव्हर कन्सेप्ट स्मॉल कन्सेप्ट यू टेक व्हेरी स्मॉल कन्सेप्ट सिंगल टर्न 1 or 2 slides 5 minutes presentation okay Pallavi then tomorrow we'll have hmm?
Yes, sir, I will do it, sir.
So what we'll do is tomorrow in the session we'll have these presentations. And tomorrow we'll have the session on 10 o'clock, 10 to 11. So you have the entire day. Means one day completely you have some time in the evening also. And this presentation will not require any time more than 50 minutes, 15 minutes. More than 15 20 minutes it will only take to prepare. Only small concept you take, prepare a PPT presentation, and then you present in the tomorrow's session. That is your second evaluation of CC parameter. Hmm. And for that, I will also provide you one link on which you will have to upload your presentation. And then once you upload that presentation, then you present in the session. Okay, I will provide you the link where you can upload your presentations. Is it okay?
okay, sir.
Hmm.
Yes,
So
sir.
tomorrow we will have the presentations. Fine. We'll close today's session here. Okay.